Hello, this is John from Official Xbox Magazine. I'm here with,
Edwin, also from our official Xbox magazine.
and this is Evolve, which is a new co-op shooter from Turtle Rock, who are the guys who initially worked on Left 4 Dead. Edwin, you have played this game. Tell me about it.
It is amazing. It's really, really good. It's the same kind of fun you associate with Left 4 Dead, in as much as it's very asymmetrical. You've got four human hunters on one side, and a dirty, great big alien monster on the other side, and they have completely different skill sets. And yeah, so it's not your traditional sort of PvP, and yeah, it's very much the same sort of emergent, dynamic, kind of endlessly replay-friendly fun that Left 4 Dead offered. Just to I'll just go on about the classes. I mean, essentially you've got four hunter classes. You've got a trapper whose job is to work out where the big monster is and to kind of try and slow it down so that the other fighters can engage it. You've got an assault guy who you can see there in the picture with the big nozzles on his back, who's all about damage, obviously. You have a medic who's equipped with a tranquilizer rifle that can slow the monster down, but is also there to obviously bring other people back to life and keep them healthy. And you have a support man who is there to drop airstrikes on things and like shield people with a kind of a portable emitter, and just generally speaking, yeah, support people, I guess. And this is the monster, which is there's a number of monsters. This is the Goliath, who actually has a number of different forms. In all his forms, he's very agile, or she, actually, I suppose. We don't really have a sex for the monster yet. Jump huge distances, climb up loads of stuff. Tends to make quite a ruckus as he's moving around, will disturb the wildlife, so that's one way you might track him down. As you can see there's a certain, that monster perhaps could have moved a bit slower.
It does look like there's like a lot of other wildlife like in the world that you have to sort of deal with.
Yes, well, actually that's crucial, because as you can see here, he's just eaten something, and he's now evolved. Cling!
I see what they did there.
Evolved into a bigger, more powerful version of himself. And that's the kind of the trick to being the monster, is you have to kind of obviously engage the hunters, but find time to go off and evolve so that you can become powerful enough to put them down for good. As the hunters, your job is obviously to kill the monster, but once it evolves to a certain point, it gains the option to attack a generator on the map. And if it attacks that generator and destroys it, then in this game mode at least, it releases a bunch of civilian scientists who the monster can then eat. And if it does that, then it can obviously win the game. So yeah, your job is to prevent it doing that if you're a hunter.
Sure. So it kind of feels a little bit like with the Left 4 Dead comparison, a bit like with the with the tank. It's where it's this kind of like big tough thing that can actually like make do quite a good show for itself. And you guys have got to kind of like team up to take it down, but with I guess the kind of the class elements on top of that.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that kind of slightly sort of Team Fortress style element to it.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely. I mean, it's very much in that tradition. They've also talked a bit about things like Counter Strike and just all of the kind of the team-based classics. Yeah, I mean, you can see actually the monster unlocks abilities as it gets bigger. That's something I forgot to mention. So one of them is a rock throw, and there's kind of a flame breath thing you can see there. That's pretty effective when you've got a bunch of the hunters up close. Yeah, I mean, there are going to be several kinds of monster, and I expect the variety to be comparable to what you got in Left 4 Dead, with obviously the tank being a completely different proposition to the smoker or something like that.
So you think we might see something that's a bit more kind of ranged or a bit sort of stealthier.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, I'm hoping that they're not making it up, because there's a real suggestion that there could be a huge variety. I mean, we might see sort of monsters who can cloak, who are much kind of nippier than the Goliath, for instance.
Yeah, so I mean, it sort of seems like there's that sort of. My initial thought looking at this was like it's a bit like kind of Predator. Like because obviously there's one guy playing as the monster, and then there's four other people playing as the hunters. And I think I really loved it. I loved both Left 4 Dead, and I really liked versus mode. Like that was the really satisfying bit for me, was kind of being actually like Hunter was one of my favourite ones actually, just because you can kind of just like sneak around in the background and like kind of pick people off. I mean, this looks a bit more, certainly with the Goliath, this looks like a lot more adversarial. So you just kind of basically like wail out and stamp on people.
Well,
so
it kind
nice
of,
if they actually introduce some variety.
It does come and go. I mean, like in the first two levels of its evolution, the Goliath's job basically is to keep away from you and eat and get bigger. But when it gets to its final form, it becomes much more adversarial, and yeah, that's when the pace of the game changes. So this is out. This is out in autumn this year, and it's shaping up to be very good.